Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Darren and this is Darren's Corner. On this channel, I talk about all things food, a little bit of travel, and a little bit of out and about, activities. I show you that. But before we go ahead, if this is your first time, don't forget to like this video. Please subscribe and turn on your notifications. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I make the popular Nigerian snack, which is known as meat pie. Meat pie is actually a pie that is filled with meat. So we are going to start off by making the meat filling. And for that, I have to peel my potatoes. That is what I'm going to be showing you first. So sit tight and let's get into the recipe. Once the potatoes are peeled, I'm going to just go ahead to slice this. You can either decide to, use your knife to dice it up yourself, or you could use the cutter to do that as well. So I'm just doing the mandolin slicer. You can use that as well. And I'm just going to start showing you the two different methods I usually do my fillings. The most important thing for you to note is that you want to dice it in small pieces, because like I said, you don't want to start having chunky potato cubes in your filling. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. By the way, all my kitchen tools and products as well as equipment are sourced through the Kitchen Joint Company. I'm going to provide the link, so please feel free to search the website for any kitchen product. And also, you can also find out some other products on my Amazon page as well. So this mandolin slicer is available on my Amazon storefront. So I'm going to provide the link here for you as well. So please go ahead. If you think you need it, just go ahead and buy it. So when you're using the mandolin slicer, just make sure you use the right blade. Otherwise, you might have some chunky dices. I try to use the different ones, but this is like the best one for me. And for you to really get it, in tiny cubes, you have to actually slice the potato into slices, and then you do exactly what I'm doing. And so go ahead and do that. You have to do that for the potatoes as well as the carrots. So I'm all done, and this is what it looks like. When you finish, it should be tiny, just like what I've shown you. You don't want it to be too chunky, otherwise you won't like that in your filling. Before I go ahead to cut my carrots, I'm going to get out my minced meat, and this is lean beef. You can use any type of meat, and just make sure it's minced meat. That would serve the purpose. So I'm putting that in a pot. I'm going to blend my onions, a little bit of habanero and garlic, just as well as ginger. And I'm adding in some salt. I'm also going to be putting in the seasoning cube, and I'm going to cook this. I'll allow this to boil. my meat is boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape the back of my carrots. I don't know how some people don't scrape the back of their carrots, but I totally have to do that because the back is really dirty. So you want to scrape off the dirt from the carrot before you cut it and introduce that into your food. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. You can decide to either use your knife or you use this dicer to cut your carrots. So I'm going to add some Cameroon pepper for some spicy kick. So in goes in the potatoes. The potatoes take longer to cook, so you don't add them at the same time as the carrots. So they should go. You should add that first so that it cooks a little bit before you add in your carrots. And I'm just going to stir this and allow this to simmer for a while. Potatoes are about halfway cooked. I'm going to add in the carrots at this stage, and I'll allow both of them to cook thoroughly till I can, pass a fork through both the carrots as well as the potatoes. So after about 15 minutes, this is what it looks like, and this is almost ready. Just need the water to dry up a little bit. So some people will use cornstarch to thicken up the filling. However, I tend not to do that. I prefer to use my potatoes to thicken up the filling, and I think it's better that way. After a while, it's going to thicken up anyway. So in a separate bowl, you're going to pour in your flour. So we're trying to make the pastry now. So I'm pouring in the flour. I'm going to add some baking powder, some salt, and I'll be mixing this together with butter and water. Once it forms the breadcrumb, then you know it's good to add in your water. Transfer this onto my working surface because I need to knead and knead and knead. to knead your dough, just fold it in. You fold it in from the top to the bottom and use both hands if you're working with a large quantity. You need a lot of kneading to really allow your pastry form. So I'm going to cut this into two so that it's easier for me to work with. So it's time to roll and roll and roll. I don't typically, I've seen some recipes that would call for you to set the dough aside and allow it to rise a little bit. I don't do all that for mine. So immediately I just, work on the pastry. I tend to roll it out and begin to cut my shape out. So before you roll it, just make sure you flour your rolling pin and on the surface of the pastry itself. It's easier that way, otherwise you're going to be having a sticky surface and it's going to be very difficult for you to roll it out properly. So you can see I'm putting some flour on it, and just to make it easy for me to roll out. To cut, I'm using my dumpling maker to do the cutting, and I'm going to show you the two methods. So you can use the dumpling maker, or you can use your pot lid to form your shape, which is a circle shape for your meat pie. And this dumpling maker is from the Kitchen Joint Company. I'm going to provide a direct link for you to check it out. And so sit tight and let's go ahead to make our meat pies. So is the other method of using the pot lid to make your circle. So whatever style you want, go ahead with it. Whatever thing you have at your home, you can always go ahead and use it. So the thing about meat pie is that it takes a lot of effort to make. So when people put in a price tag on their meat pies, I really don't blame them, because it's a lot of work to make the meat filling, another, amount of effort to make the pastry itself. And then obviously you have your ingredients, you have your gas that you use it. So it's definitely not a straightforward snack to make. So when people price it out, I don't really fault them for it. I personally would not sell my meat pie, in the range that folks are selling it in Canada. I would definitely not do that. So that's why I don't sell food because it's really not worth it for me. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm just gonna put in the filling and then I'll turn it and use the fork to do the same thing that the dumpling maker did. So that's about it. Your meat pie is ready. Not ready, but ready to be put in the oven. The next thing you would do is just to coat it with egg, and that is to make sure the surface doesn't burn and to give it a smooth type of look when you finish. And so once I finish doing this, I'm just going to put it in the oven and allow this to bake. I'm going to be using the conventional bake setting of my oven because I want the heat to evenly distribute. I'm making a large batch, so I'm going to be using both the top and the lower layer of my oven. So I want the heat to, go round the oven, not just on the top layer, but to circulate around inside the oven. And so that's why I'm using conventional bake. And so that's about it. I'm going to put it in the oven now. And this is the finished look of my meat pie. And, I usually, when I make meat pies, I make them in batches because I just store them in the freezer. And it's really easy to store. So just put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in your freezer. You can store for 2, 3, 4 months. And when you're ready to, eat, bring it out, maybe for 1 hour. And then you can, microwave it after. And I'm just showing you what it looks like. And I'm going to break one for you so that you can see how the inside looks like. It's absolutely delicious. So it's absolutely delicious. If you've tasted my meat pie before, then you would know that it's always delicious. And I try as much as possible to make my pastry very thin because we're on Team Fit Farm over here. That's it, guys. I hope you've really enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And I hope you're going to try this recipe because, I've put in a lot of effort to bring this to you. So please try it. And if you try it, please don't forget to tag me or send me a note in the comment section and also probably on Instagram. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.